What happened in Ann Arbor, Michigan yesterday? I want to talk about the football game first. So we had Michigan, a winner, 29-7 over Michigan State. I have some good news. This is not going to be all negative for the Spartans. They led after the first quarter. But that's the end of the good news for the Michigan State Spartans. It was really, really downhill in so many different ways after that. Michigan closed on a 26-0 run. We had physical assault in the tunnel after the game. No two ways about it. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. There was so little variance in the potential outcome. Remember when we were breaking this thing down either Tuesday or Thursday, and I said, some of these rivalry games are unpredictable, and you know the old throw the records out the window adage, which really doesn't apply in rivalry games any more than any other games, it turns out. I know it sounds fun to say, though. Not this game, not this year, not this game in this year, because of what Michigan could do and what Michigan State couldn't do. And it played out perfectly yesterday. Michigan, 52 carries, 276 yards on the ground. They had about a 5.3 per carry average. They can run the ball. They do it on everyone. And then you got Michigan State. They can't run the ball. They don't do it on anyone. 23 carries, 37 yards. Another abysmal day on the ground, 1.6 yards per carry. If you care about time of possession, which I don't really, but this one is pretty glaring, 40.5 minutes to 19.5 minutes. Completely and utterly gross. Michigan, I am happy to say, is exactly who we thought they were in the preseason. I power rated them inside the top 5, told you I think they're a playoff team, told you I think this team may be a little bit better than last year, and sure enough, as we're about to enter November, I think they're better than they were last year, and I also think that they still have a month left. They're in ascension mode. They're getting better. And it's not a team that has to improve leaps and bounds, obviously, but there's no team more in touch with their identity. You know, there are some contending teams out there where you're still asking, all right, what's the finished product of us going to be? No one's asking that about Michigan. Look at these rushing stats by game. They're lethal on the ground. Their worst rushing performance this year is what? The Indiana game at Indiana. And I'm telling you, when they had that injury on the sideline, that affected those players that game. Because look at how they responded the following week. They would still be running on Penn State. If they did not make them stop playing football after 4 quarters, they would have gone and gone and gone and gone. So they do it on everyone. They are equal opportunity punishers on the ground. The only way, as I see it, to make Michigan uncomfortable and to put them against the wall and to force their hand is to get a lead on them early, because no one's done it. You want to see them in unfamiliar territory, put a 10-point lead on them. I had Jesse go look. I said, hey, what's their biggest deficit this year? 4 points. It was yesterday when they trailed 7-3. That's the biggest deficit that Michigan's had all year. They are a very, very good team. They're a very dangerous team. They can win the national championship. I don't know if people realize that. Michigan, Tennessee, like some of these teams that have not been in that game in a long time, this particular year, where everyone has shown vulnerability, those teams can win the national title this year. Michigan can win the national title this year. It is in the cards for them. Mel Tucker did not have a good day yesterday. Michigan State did not have a good day. Mel Tucker at Michigan State. In his entire tenure there now, this was a pretty surprising stat to me. Maybe it shouldn't have been, but he's been outscored by 197 points in Big Ten play. Over that same span, only Rutgers has been worse. And that's with a great season baked in last year. I breathe a sigh of aggravation, maybe, because it seems like it's the same thing every week. They've allowed 27 points or more in each of their last 6 games. That ties a school record for all the wrong reasons. Let's talk about this post-game scene. I know a lot of you have seen this. Some of you may not have. I mean, there was straight-up assault in the Michigan tunnel. Now, you remember last year, I'm going to show you this first. If you're listening on podcast, just picture about a 10 or 11-on-1 assault of a Michigan player. I don't think I'm being too hyperbolic there. And do we have the other one, guys, or do we just have this one? Okay, well, what we can't show you is also, I think, a Michigan State offensive lineman just going to town, wailing on the back of a Michigan player's head with a helmet. Again, pure physical assault. This will be something that police get involved with. This will not be just an edict handed down from Mel Tucker, and he has spoken on this today. He denounced it. He said all the right things. Ward Manuel and Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, they've spoken like they know we better keep our mouths shut because this is a legal matter. And I was there last year when Michigan played Ohio State. There was a lot of jawing in the tunnel, and I put that video out a couple of weeks ago. Penn State, I think it was Penn State and Michigan, just a little jawing in the tunnel. That right there was physical assault. No excuse for it. I mean, I had some people ignorant enough as to say, well, they shouldn't have a stadium constructed like that. And Wikipedia tells me they've played football in that building for a long, long time. And unless they've just kept all this under lock and key, kept tight wraps on it, I don't think that we've had folks being bloodied in the tunnel there every other week. So the stadium construction has been a constant. There's probably another variable in play there. Now, if you do want to come to me and say procedurally things should be handled a little different, entering and exiting the field, I'm fine with that. I kind of said the same thing last year myself. But that was pretty ugly scene. So I think that Michigan will be nothing but bolstered by it. But Michigan State is having a very, very tough year here. And Michigan State plus 23 does end up cashing. So congrats to anyone who had that ticket. Michigan's a really good team. A really, really good team. Guys, thanks for watching Late Kick. Make sure and leave a comment. I love interacting with you. But most of all, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep all of this free.